Hi, welcome to Snory's, a children's bedtime podcast hosted by your Snory godmothers. I'm Marcia Gay Harden, and I love sleep.
And I'm Natalie Peyton. I love sleep too. Thanks for joining us.
Time to settle in, snuggle up, put your head on the pillow, and get ready for your Snory's bedtime ritual. First, we start with mindful talk.
Mindful talk is when we take special time to be super kind to ourselves.
Every time we speak to ourselves gently and with compassion, we grow a big, warm light right inside of us. And with each nice word, our inner light gets bigger and bigger. Wouldn't you like your inner light to shine brightly?
As your Snory godmothers always say, it's important to focus on the good stuff. So let's think about your day today and highlight the fun parts. Did you play with your friends? Were you helpful to your friends and family? Maybe you brushed your teeth or listened closely to your adult. Whatever you did today, we know those around you were happy to share this day with you. You bring a lot of goodness to others, and part of that is because of your inner light shining through.
Kiddos, we'd like to build our kind inner lights with you. We do this by saying affirmations together.
Repeat after your Snory godmother, Marcia. Say it quietly or say it in your mind. But don't just say it, kiddos. Really feel it and experience the energy of the words.
I'm capable.
You can always rely on yourself.
I matter in this world.
Yes, you do.
I am a good listener.
Being a good listener helps you understand others.
I am skillful.
That's useful, because here's your Snory science tip. Did you know that when we get enough sleep, our hands that we use to work and create, our movement that we use to dance and play, and our minds that we use to think are sharper? These are called motor skills.
I like to take chances and try new things.
Kiddos, when you take chances and believe in yourself, you experience new opportunities. Taking chances can feel scary, especially when you don't know how things will end up. But taking chances can also lead you to the most wonderful adventures in life. In today's Snory, Jack and the Beanstalk, you will hear about a little boy called Jack who took chances with some magical beans. We're almost to the Snory, but first, we want to help you get all your wiggles out. We do this by grounding with our surroundings and focusing on our senses. This time, we want you to begin by focusing your attention on the present moment. What's around you right now? To start, notice how your bed feels against your body. One Snory's listener told us his bed felt like he was laying on puffy, white marshmallows. What does yours feel like? Next, we want you to think about what you hear as you lay still in the present. Another listener told us they could hear the sound of crickets outside chirping. What do you hear? Now, with your eyes closed, think about the first thing that you see in your mind. What was it? As you lay on your bed, snuggled up, notice what you smell. One Snory's listener said she could smell the moon. Wow, I wonder what that smells like. Finally, as you lay in your bed in the present moment, identify any tastes in your mouth. Super. Now that you're grounded and your imagination is turned on, it's time to enjoy the Snory.
Today's fairy tale is called Jack and the Beanstalk, and there are many different ways this story is told. An Australian man named Joseph Jacobs rewrote this story in a book called English Fairy Tales, and that's the one we are basing our Snory on today. Jack and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, there lived a very poor widow and her only son, Jack. They lived on a small farm in the country, in a little cottage with a leaky straw roof, a tiny fireplace, and a dirt floor. Every day, Jack would help his mother with the chores, chopping the wood, weeding the garden, and milking the cow, whose name was Milky White. But despite all their hard work, Jack and his mother were very poor with barely enough money to keep themselves fed. Every day, they carried the milk to market and sold it so they could buy food. But Milky White was getting older and older and making less and less milk. And one day, she made no milk at all. "Don't be sad, Mother," said Jack. "We'll figure something out." "No, Jack, we have no money and no food, and now no milk to take to the market. We must sell Milky White, and with the money buy enough seed to plant a good crop," said his mother quietly. So the next day, Jack put a soft blue halter around the cow's neck and walked with her down the road to the market. He hadn't gotten very far when he met an odd-looking little man with a long white beard, a velvet robe, and a pointy hat with a sparkly star on its tip. "Good morning, Jack," said the funny little man. "Oh, good morning to you," said Jack, wondering how the little old man knew his name. "Where are you off to this fine morning?" asked the man. "I'm going to market to sell our cow, Milky White." "Well, what a helpful son you are," exclaimed the man. "I have a special deal for such a good boy like you." The little old man looked around to make sure no one was watching, and then opened his hand to show Jack what he had. "Beans?" said Jack, looking a little confused. "3 magical bean seeds, to be exact, young man. 1, 2, 3. So magical are they that if you plant them overnight, by morning they grow right up to the sky," promised the funny little man. "And because you're such a good boy, they're all yours in trade for that old milking cow." "Really?" said Jack. "And you're quite sure they're magical?" "I am indeed, and if it doesn't turn out to be true, you can have your cow back." What do you think Jack did? What would you do? Should he take a chance on the magic beans? Is there even such a thing as magical beans? Well, in a fairy tale, anything is possible. Jack took the magic beans and gave the man the cow. The beans were small and golden and felt soft in his hand. When he reached home, he told his mother the wonderful news. "Mother, I have sold Milky White for 3 magical beans." "What?" cried Jack's mother. "Oh, silly boy, how could you give away our milking cow for 3 measly beans?" And with that, she did the worst thing Jack had ever seen her do. She burst into tears. Jack was very sad and went to his tiny room without dinner. "How could I have been so foolish? I've broken my mother's heart." He went to the window and threw the beans out into the garden. He could see the stars outside of his window, and he could hear his mother crying in the kitchen where there was no food. The next day, Jack woke up very hungry. His room was oddly shady. He had to push giant leaves away to look out the window, and when he did, he saw that a huge beanstalk had grown from his magic beans. He climbed out of his window straight up the beanstalk, and from way up high he saw the funny little man in the road with Milky White the cow, and they waved to each other. The beans had worked. Jack climbed and climbed even higher, and then even higher, and finally he was above the clouds, and he reached a kingdom in the sky. Jack saw a huge castle far away and up a hill. Jack walked through the fields and across the stream and climbed the hill to the castle. There was a giant lady in the garden gathering vegetables. Jack went right up to her and said, "Could you please give me something to eat? I'm so hungry." And Jack was so weak from not eating that his legs began to shake. Well, maybe he was a little bit afraid, too. But the giant's wife was a kind person, and so she bent way down and looked at Jack. "My husband is a very mean giant, and he likes to eat little boys with his toast for breakfast," she said. but I will help you." And she took him to the kitchen, where he ate milk and bread and cheese and berries. While Jack was eating, the giant came home. Suddenly they heard stomp, stomp, stomp as the giant came down the stairs. He was very big and looked very fearsome. Jack was terrified, and the giant's wife quickly hid him in the empty water barrel. The giant came into the kitchen, looked around, and growled.
"Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread."
The giant's wife said, "Oh, you silly Willie. There's no boy in here. Come eat your food." So the giant ate his breakfast, made a loud burp, and then went to his enormous favorite chair. He opened up a huge trunk and took out his sacks of golden coins. Jack peeked out of the top of the water barrel. He couldn't believe it. The giant counted all the gold coins, then put them back in their sacks, and finally fell asleep with all the sacks scattered about. He was snoring so loudly that he didn't hear Jack creep out of his hiding place, and he didn't see Jack grab a sack of golden coins and then run out the door toward the beanstalk. Jack scrambled down so quickly that he fell plop on his bottom, and all the gold spilled out onto the dirt. And when his mother saw it, she couldn't believe their good fortune. His mother was very happy. She could now buy food for them and wood for the fire and fix the leaky roof. They lived well for some time and were happy. But then one day, they ran out of money and couldn't buy any food or milk. Jack knew what he had to do. He had to help his mother. So Jack climbed the beanstalk again and climbed higher and then even higher. And when he was past the clouds, he came to the kingdom. He walked across the valley again and over the stream and went to the giant's house. Once again, he saw the giant's wife in the garden, and Jack asked her for food.
I recognize you. My husband should have eaten you for breakfast before. Some of his gold went missing that very day you were here. You should go away," she said.
But Jack said, "Oh, please, I'm so hungry, and I know you're tired. If you give me some food, I'll help you in your garden." Well, she needed help in her garden because the giant ate so much. So she took Jack into the kitchen and gave him some milk and bread and some cheese and berries. While he was eating, the giant returned. "Stomp, stomp, stomp," they heard, and Jack leapt up in fright and went and hid under the bed. The giant stomped into the room and growled.
"Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread."
The giant's wife quickly said,
"Oh, your nose must be stopped up. There's no boy in here."
So the giant ate his food, and when he was done, he let out 2 loud burps and then went and sat in his favorite chair. There he opened a cage and took out a sickly golden hen. He shouted, "Lay!" and the poor hen laid a golden egg. What? Have you ever even seen a golden egg? Jack was peeking out from under the bed and was amazed. The giant rubbed the egg and soon fell asleep, and he snored so loudly that he didn't hear Jack creep out from under the bed. He didn't see Jack take the sickly golden hen and scramble back down the beanstalk. When Jack got to the bottom, he jumped down, and his mother was waiting for him. Jack gave her the hen and said, "Lay," and the hen laid a golden egg right in the mother's hands. Jack's mother was so amazed and so happy that she hugged him and burst into tears. So many wonderful things had happened since Jack had planted the magic beans, but he couldn't stop thinking about the giant and his wife and the castle. What other treasures were up there? So after some days, Jack once again climbed the beanstalk. He climbed and climbed even higher, and then even higher, and when he was past the clouds, he walked through the valley and across the stream and went to the giant's castle. Jack saw the giant's wife in the garden, but he felt badly about tricking her, so he sneaked past her and jumped through a window into the kitchen. He helped himself to bread and milk and cheese and berries, and when he heard stomp, 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 he went and hid in the oven. The giant's wife came into the kitchen with some vegetables, and then the giant stomped into the kitchen and growled,
Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread.
Don't be ridiculous. There's no boy in here, said his wife. I have lots of vegetables from the garden. Now, do you want me to roast them or not? When Jack heard that, he quickly snuck out of the oven and hid behind the giant's favorite chair. He did not want to be roasted with the vegetables.
I want meat, said the giant. I smell a boy. Fee, fi, fo.
Humbug. Get that silly idea out of your noggin, said the giant's wife as she roasted the vegetables. You eat too much meat, and vegetables are good for you. When the giant had grumpily eaten his breakfast, he let out 3 loud burps and went and sat in his favorite chair. Now the giant had a magical harp that could play beautiful songs, which he kept in a box right near his chair. He took it out and shouted, "Sing!" And the golden harp played beautiful music. It played for a very long time, until the giant fell asleep. And he began to snore, just like before, so loudly that he didn't hear when Jack crept out from behind the chair. He didn't see Jack very quietly take the harp and tiptoe to the door. But the magic harp was so scared and confused she didn't know what was happening, so she cried, "Help! Master, help! A boy is stealing me!" The giant woke up and saw Jack with the harp. Oh, no! Jack ran out the door and across the valley toward the beanstalk. Furious, the giant ran after Jack. But Jack was too fast for him. He got to the beanstalk first and scrambled down, but he could feel the giant scrambling down after him as the beanstalk shook and trembled. Jack scrambled faster, but the giant kept following him. Jack looked down to his yard and yelled to his mother, "Help! Get an axe! Hurry, Mother!" And when Jack jumped to the ground, he grabbed the axe and began to chop down the beanstalk. He chopped and chopped so hard that the beanstalk broke, and the giant fell down and hit his noggin and died. The singing harp thanked Jack for rescuing her from the giant. Oh, she had hated being locked up in that box all day and night, and she wanted nothing more than to sit in the farmhouse window and sing to the birds and the butterflies in the sunshine. With a bit of patience and his mother's help, it didn't take long for Jack to get the sickly hen back in good health, and the grateful hen continued to lay a fresh golden egg every day. Jack used the money from selling the golden eggs to buy back Milky White, purchase seed for the spring crop, and to fix up his mother's farm. He even had enough left over to invite every one of his neighbors over for a nice meal, complete with music from the singing harp. And they all danced. But did they all live happily ever after? Well, Jack felt badly about stealing from the giant's wife because stealing is never good. The Snory godmothers think that Jack watered the roots of the old beanstalk, and it began to grow again. It grew right up past the clouds to the giant's old kingdom, and Jack made friends with the giant's wife and paid off his debt by helping her in her garden every Sunday. And then they really all did live happily ever after. The end.
Now it's time to calm your body down. Take a deep breath in through your nose, filling your tummy like a big balloon. And breathe out slowly through your mouth. Your body has done so much for you today. So we're going to scan through each of your body parts and switch them all off so they can go to sleep too. This time, let's start way down low at the base of your body with your little toes. Gently wiggle them and switch them off. Now your feet. Rub them against your sheets and switch them off. Feel your ankles, then switch them off. Breathe in. Feel your weight on the bed. And breathe out. Now focus on your calves and switch them off. Think about your knees, who have helped your legs all day, and switch them off. Breathe in and breathe out. Switch off your thighs in the front and in the back. Think about your hips and switch them off. Focus on your belly. And while you breathe, feel it rise and fall like a balloon. Now switch that off too. Switch off your chest, your shoulders, your arms, your hands. Keep breathing. Switch off your spine, your neck, your head. Then switch off your face. And remember to switch off your jaw. Switch off your mouth, your nose, your cheeks, and your forehead. Switch off your eyes and your eyebrows. Be still and be calm. You have switched off your whole body. Slowly take one last deep breath in and breathe out. Observe how your body feels. And now your whole body is switched off and you've calmed your body down.
Sweet dreams, sleep tight, and know that everything's going to be all right.